Hello, everyone. Welcome again to the Third and 10 Podcast. Season 3, Episode 57 is now live. I'm your host, Nathan Nguyen, joined by my guy, Brian Germanaro, here as always. Well, we got a lot of things to talk about Giants-wise. Unfortunately, another loss for our G-Man on Sunday, but we also fired someone that we wanted to get to have lose their job for quite some time. So we'll discuss all that shortly. But Brian, is Thanksgiving week. This will be our only show for the week, actually, because of Thanksgiving, and also the Giants do play Monday night. So Brian,
Special Monday show for everybody.
yes, first time in I don't think we've done a Monday show since last season, actually, because our
Yeah,
schedule
last
was
season probably.
Monday. Yeah,
Probably
it's good
around
to
this
see.
time last season.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And just like last year, losing record and no hope for the rest of the year. We're actually eliminated from playoff contention. Actually,
Only team in the
now
NFL be eliminated
I
from
know.
playoff contention.
Isn't that weird though? Because the Titans have a worse record than us, and they still have a shot at
I
playoff.
think it's just more of an indictment on how bad the AFC is this year. They're like,
Yeah,
maybe the Titans can still sneak in.
there's some way somehow. Yeah, my best friend Josh, he's a Titans fan, and he was like, "Yeah, the Titans have a chance at playoffs, and you guys don't." I'm like, "All right, screw off, buddy."
Yeah, okay. We'll,
But
we'll see you next week when you lose
we'll,
and get eliminated. We'll see you then, buddy.
we'll see you in Cancun.
Mhm.
But Ryan, happy early Thanksgiving to you. Always
Yes,
thankful
you
for you,
too,
my
my friend.
friend. Yes, sir. How are you doing, man?
Uh, I'm doing well. I've digested the Brandon Nimmo trade as much as one can.
Yeah.
It's a it was an interesting weekend. We had Notre Dame winning 70-7, really making a statement to anybody. I don't care if Syracuse had like their third string quarterback in. Syracuse is a power four program. You beat a power
Yes.
four program by 63 points. That's a statement. I don't care. Like, and by the way, he only threw two pick sixes. Okay, so 14 points. Okay, take away those 14 points. That means Syracuse's defense let up 56
56.
points. That's pretty
Yep.
impressive.
I think one person that's also happy about Syracuse being crushed is Jared from the corner booth because he
Yeah.
hates Syracuse with his
Well, I don't know because
guts.
now we actually now you can point to it like Notre Dame is much better than Miami. Look, I know in August you beat us by 3 points, but you lost to unranked teams. Notre Dame has crushed every unranked team they played.
And Notre Dame is just strengthening their case to
Mm-hmm.
be a top 8 seed. Is that what we're looking at here? Or are
We're
we
looking.
looking
I
at
would bet you we're probably 9 is where we're going to sit for the rest of the season.
okay, okay.
We would need some help. We need some teams in front of us to lose because I mean we're playing Stanford this week. It's not you can't beat Stanford and it's not gonna do much.
I don't know why I'm laughing because I was gonna say that Stanford is ass, but then I realized that I'm being a Cal fan. We
Mm-hmm.
just lost to Stanford,
Yeah,
and had to give up the axe to them.
yeah, the
So
trophy. Yeah,
yeah, but not exciting week for college football ahead of us. Rivalry week
rivalry
is what?
week. Yep,
Yes, sir, it is.
game,
Um,
Iron Bowl, all that stuff.
yes, I'll be looking forward to the game between Michigan and Ohio State. That's one game I'll actually wake up to watch.
Ryan, this is Ryan Day's. I know Ryan Day won a national championship game last year, but if he loses again to Michigan, there's going to be a conversation.
Oh yeah, it has to because look, I think that's the beauty of college sports. I was talking about it with my other friend Mateo the other day. Like you could go undefeated or you could win the championship, you could win your conference, blah blah blah. But if you don't beat your rivals during during rivalry week,
Yeah,
like I can't say a rivalry,
the
right?
big rival. If you don't like if you're Bama and you go 11-1, but like the one loss is like to I'm trying to think like no, like one of their lesser, like a Vanderbilt rivalry they
Yeah,
have, or like someone like that. It's like, all right, whatever. But like, if that lost it to like Tennessee or to like Auburn, then there's problems.
yeah, and it's crazy because you could, when you can have all these positive accomplishments or these accomplishments on your resume, but if you can't beat your biggest rival, there's so much conversation about how like, oh, you may be fired because you can't even beat our biggest rival, so why are you here?
Yeah,
And you mentioned with Ryan Day, he hasn't beat Michigan in 4 years now.
it's pre-pandemic.
Um,
The COVID is a more recent
yeah,
event than Ryan Day beating
dude,
Michigan.
that is quite some time. And I fully expect the Buckeyes to win this
They will
weekend.
handle. Right?
They should.
I was watching. I had Notre Dame go on, but like I was at a friend's house with multiple TVs, and one that was a Michigan Maryland game. Bryce Underwood He's going to be a good quarterback,
Yes.
but boy, is he raw. He is a raw
Dude,
prospect. he
for
needs some
sure.
develop. He needs some time in the oven to
Yeah.
get that. That arm's explosive, but man, is it inaccurate.
Yeah. I mean, he showed flashes as well on the ground too, but
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
definitely
I fully expect him to be a good quarterback, but he's just not ready yet.
not ready yet.
He
Yeah.
almost could have benefited from a year on the bench.
Yeah. Wish the Tigers had him, being also half a LSC Tigers
You did
fan.
have him, and then you had Brian
And then
Kelly.
he flipped him. Yeah. He flipped commitments, and Brian Kelly's now gone, and I don't think we've heard anything about Lane Kiffin.
I Nothing's happening until after the Egg Bowl.
Oh, so he's staying to the okay. Interesting.
The Egg Bowl's on Thursday, so unless we get breaking news tonight, he's gonna stay to
I,
the Egg Bowl.
yeah, I remember. I think we talked about this in the corner booth last Thursday. I thought the school wanted him to make a decision before the Egg Bowl. Was that, I
I
guess,
think they
false?
wanted him to make a decision for the Egg Bowl, but I think when you have like 90 million, I think when the money is as much as it is, it's you just let Lane Kiffin do his thing.
Makes
Because
sense.
if you're Ole Miss and you're hearing these are all rumors, we don't know exactly. But if you're hearing that Lane Kiffin's got a $90 million offer, and there's rumors that Florida is offering him somewhere between 80 and 90 as well, now you're Ole Miss, you're like, man, we're gonna have to scrape the money together. And they
Okay. So,
Ole Miss could definitely match an offer. I feel like with the success they've had in the SEC, kind of being the marquee school in Mississippi. I know it's Mississippi State, but they're kind of an afterthought. I feel like they could get 90 million together kind of fast, maybe more. That's just me. I could be
all right.
wrong.
Fair enough. Yeah, almost these past couple seasons, 11-2, 10-3, and then this
Yeah,
year, or 11-2, 10-3, and this year so
yeah.
far 10-1.
It's not like Alabama, where like Auburn and Bama like kind of split the state because both of them have relative success. Mississippi owns Mississippi State. Like
Oh
Mississippi
yeah.
State's terrible. They're only in the SEC
Yeah.
because they're a founding member.
The only good thing I've heard coming from the Bulldogs themselves of Mississippi State is Dak Prescott. That's the
That's it, yeah.
only.
And everyone and like, yeah, they lost Mike Leach. He tragically passed away while he was the head coach. But like at some point, that can't be a crutch anymore. Like, yeah, you
Mm,
lost your head coach, but at some point you have to move on. And I know I
yeah,
think
man.
I think this is their third season without him, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Mike Leach hasn't coached since
2022. Yeah, so we're on year 3. So like, you can't keep bringing up that yeah, he died, and that's terrible.
yeah,
If he was here, maybe the program's bigger. But like, you have your new coach. He's on year 3. This is his team now.
yeah, right. Wasn't it, an unfortunate event? Of course it is. But at the end of the day,
Yeah,
you got to
it's a
move on.
tragedy. It's all that.
Yeah,
Mike
of
Leach is one of
course,
the best personalities in football.
of
He
course.
revolutionized college. He basically is the father of the air raid offense.
You're right.
You can't tell the
Got to move
story
on.
of college football without Mike Leach.
Yeah. Same time though, you got to move on, like you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully Mississippi State can get back to where they want to be. So far, that has not been the case. But only time will tell. But another team that's still struggling is our New York Football Giants, my friend, who we are thankful for as always. But for this
Are we?
season, well, here's the thing. And I hate to say this because it's like, oh, we're just trying to find. I mean, you know me, I'm a positive person, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and you are too. This has been probably the most fun 2-10 season, but also the most frustrating one, of
Yeah.
course, as well. Um, because, and we'll get into it. Like, there were a lot of big plays on Sunday, and we've seen quite a
Oh my.
good amount of big plays throughout the season by our G-men as well. A lot of, a couple of signature wins, of course, that were nice to see, but it's also been frustrating because there have been a lot of blown leads, to see us up by a good amount in the fourth quarter and
10
then to
points.
blow it.
I think
Yeah.
10 times this season. 5 times this season they've had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter and lost.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
2-5 in 10-point game. Like that shouldn't be it. You should be winning
It's
those games.
terrible. Yeah, it's terrible. And thankfully part of the reason for those blown leads is now gone, and we'll
I
get
think the
to that.
biggest reason for those blown leads are gone.
I would say 90% of the reason for the blown leads is now gone. The other
Mm-hmm.
10%, I do want to get your thoughts on later on. But yeah, Lions. Um, what's it called? Yeah, Lions 34, Giants 27 in overtime. I just want to get a few things straight though. I don't want to be like, oh, let's talk about the offense and defense, like like we usually do. I just want to start with a few things just to make sure we're
Hmm.
on the right page. We agree with Kafka's call, right, to go
Yeah,
for a fourth
100%.
down late in the
100.
fourth.
Mike
Okay,
Jonathan
great.
Villa does not know what he's talking about.
Yes, I
Listen to
know.
him. Listen to him call the game. I'm like, this guy has not been watching Shane Bowen's defense
Yeah,
this
like have
season.
you not seen Giants football? Like these announcers have a chance, right, to
Hmm.
watch the film, or watch previous games, look at notes. Like this Giants defense is really bad. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you're up by 3, 6, 10, whatever. We've seen it 17, like you
Hmm.
saw, against the Broncos. This team will blow some way somehow,
Yeah.
and it's just it's just
Yeah.
either
The
way.
Lions got
Yeah,
down the field pretty fast. You're not telling me they couldn't go the extra 30 yards in the minute that they had?
yeah, no, it's yeah. I agree with the call. It is
Yeah.
we all agree with it. The 10% who don't, y'all need to either study the Giants defense again or just don't know ball. Simple as that.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, because it's like it's either you go for it on fourth, you don't get it, but Detroit starts on the 6, which they did. Or their own 6 yard line, and they have to go about what 50, 60ish yards down the field. And if
Yeah.
you think about it, right, the
In like a
call
minute.
was
In like a minute 30.
yeah.
Is that how much time? We were past the minute warning. I know that.
Yes, we were. Yeah, it was. They had, dude. It was. They didn't have much time left at all.
No.
I'm double checking right now. Um, but it's like even obviously the Giants didn't convert on it, but like you. Oh my bad. No, it was 2:56 left in the
Okay.
quarter.
Still.
But still, it's still like having Detroit start at the 6 yard line or it like deep in their own territory, that is scary for them because it's like, okay, what if we get, what if the defense forces a safety or intentional grounding or it's like, well,
There's little margin for error when you're inside your
exactly.
own 10-yard line.
And if you think about it, right, like I was thinking about this yesterday. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Like to only have to get a field goal, there has to be some sort of mindset to where it's like, okay, we don't have to be too aggressive. We can be a little more conservative in a way, especially with the amount of time they had on the
Yeah.
clock to
Yeah.
get to get a field goal. So like,
You're not running a 2-minute offense yet.
yeah, because being aggressive that could lead to, or how do I say this? Being like conservative, right, can lead to mistakes. I mean, obviously, being aggressive can lead to
Well,
mistakes as
we
well. But
saw it. They when they were in field goal range, they had the screen pass, and that's kind of being conservative. That pushed the
that's right.
back 5 yards. That turned a
That's right.
54-yard field goal into a 59-yard field goal.
Which was still made, of course. But then
Still
again,
made, of
it
course,
is the
but like
Giants.
that tied his career, the kicker's career high. You're asking him to make a career-setting field goal instead of a 54-yarder, which granted, 5 yards is 5 yards, but there's a different mindset. It was like I've only hit this once in my career. From I've hit this a couple times in my career.
Exactly. Yeah, and 59 yards is nothing to sneeze at, of course, at all.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, like like you mentioned, he usually doesn't make those type of field goals from that far. But when when you're a kicker playing the Giants, you somehow like get like +5 kicking
I
power and
would love
accuracy.
someone to do the math. And I think you reposted it to TikTok of that guy screaming about like how every single time the game winning the kicker makes a career long field goal. I would love it because I'm not going to do it because I know I'm just going to like get depressed if I do it. If someone with a better mental standing of the instead of a not Giants fan who's watching this show can go back and count how many times a kicker has made a career long field goal against the Giants, that'd be greatly appreciated.
That'd be great.
Because I
That'd be
bet you
great.
it's like 10.
This is all we need an intern for. Mike Blaine, we're talking to you. Please.
Who's not a Giants fan? Because I'm telling you, like I would if I'm going to do it because I'm going to relive all the memories and then like I'm just not going to do this show anymore. I'm done. I can't do this
Memories,
anymore.
bring back memories. I'm kidding.
I was at a, I was at a friend's house and he literally goes like, "I give you a lot of credit, bro. How the hell do you talk about the Giants every single week?" I couldn't do that.
Yeah, it's depressing as F in here, man. I
He's
tell
like,
you,
it's so depressing.
it's tough, man. I mean, ever since
I'm
we
like,
started
dude,
the
it's not
podcast,
easy, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, ever since we started the podcast, we've only experienced 5 wins together that we get to talk about. Like it's not
Jesus Christ.
not counting the preseason.
I don't.
It's not
No, the
fun,
preseason.
man.
I barely watch preseason football.
I don't know. It was such a fun season, a fun 3 games of preseason this year, though. I tell you, that was probably the most fun I've had reviewing games and whatnot
Hmm.
for the Giants. But look, it was a great call by Kafka. I love his aggressiveness. What he's shown these past couple games gives me a lot of
Kafka
confidence
should be
that
2-0 right now.
he should. Yeah,
Or at least
honestly, he
one and
should.
one. The Packers game was probably 50-50. That's the one game I'll give him a toss up. But I think we saw a lot of good from that Packers game. If they would have lost and like the Giants were not just like blowing games constantly, it would have
Mhm.
been like, all right, you know what? Some good stuff, some bad stuff. We'll see. There's a lot of good on Sunday that's going to be
Oh yeah.
overmasked by
Yeah.
Shane Bowen yet again blowing a game.
I would say the only thing that I didn't like about Kafka was the plays that play calls that were called, or the plays that were called to get to that fourth and goal situation that we, obviously we
Yeah.
couldn't convert. I felt like the pass attempt to Johnson on second down and the run play to Singletary on third down should have been reversed. I feel like if you ran the ball twice to start
Mm-hmm.
that new set of downs, I should say, and then throw it on third down
Yeah.
and fourth down, maybe that. I mean, hindsight is 2020 at the end of the day too.
Yeah,
If you
and I
want to
think
factor
this
that
is
in.
also like his first time being a head coach. He's, kind of learning on the job.
Plus, like, being aggressive on fourth down, you have nothing to lose. You are 2-9
No,
now, 2-10 football team. You're obviously coaching for a chance to be the long term head coach. Like you might as well, just go for it.
be
Don't
aggressive.
don't coach scared. Don't coach scared. The players,
You
have a lot of high praise for him
you
too.
can say a
So
lot of things about Kafka. The one thing you cannot say is he coaches scared. That guy's
no,
aggressive with his
and he
trick
makes
plays,
moves. Yeah,
everything he does. He is not afraid to make a play call, which I like. I like. We need
yeah,
that.
and he makes moves, man. And obviously, the big move was made on Monday.
Hmm.
Even after Sunday, in which he said that the terrorist, he supports the terrorists with
That's
and
coach speak, though. It's coach
yeah,
speak. It's like what else? It's kind of like I don't understand. Like if you watch a politician, you know what he's saying is not true. I don't understand why that mindset isn't applied to coaching as well, because
mm,
they're not trying to give you bold, try to get the media something that turns to a firestorm. Because Cap goes up there and goes, you know what, Shane Bowen sucks. That's on the front page of every newspaper in New York City for a week.
yeah,
That's sports talk radio. That's just like that's putting a steak over a lion. Like, no,
yeah.
you don't do that. You don't give them that. Don't give them the ammo.
Everyone's yeah. Everyone says things just to just just to say it. It's not
Yeah,
true. Like I,
yeah. It's like
what
these
he
Mets fans with like I remember during like during the trade deadline, um, they were like they asked David Stearns, "Do you want to trade for center fielder?" He's like, if the market does it, we'll look into it. But like, I'm happy with the production we got." And everyone got up in arms, like, "Oh my god, I can't believe David Stearns." I'm like, guys, he's not going to openly rip a player. He's not going to reveal what he's thinking, guys. Like, come on, think.
like, what do you want? It's like, what do you want me to say? Oh
What do you
yeah,
want?
we're
You
definitely
know
gonna get
what?
a center
You know
fielder.
what, Tyra? You know what? Tyrone Taylor and Jeff McNeil suck in center field. They're god awful. We're going to do everything in our power to trade for a center fielder. Hopefully, Luis Robert or Cedric Mullins. It's like, okay, well, their prices just went through the roof, and now it's a media firestorm. And
Exactly,
Jeff
and
McNeil now hates you.
yeah,
Now the locker room's fractured.
what's it called? Yeah, it's people are just. I don't think fans understand the concept of press conferences, but I digress.
No,
Um,
I honestly
plus,
think I'm the smartest person on some of these Facebook groups. I'm in. Jesus.
yeah, I look. I mean, I get it. I would say the same for me on when it comes to people on Twitter. But at the same time, I get people rage bait and whatnot. So it just, I
No, the rate.
understand.
That's why I don't really get mad at Twitter, because I know people are rage baiting, and like I can pick it up. But Facebook, man, I only started Facebook to start like promoting articles and stuff, and like the podcast and stuff, just to get more viewers
Yeah,
in there. And then
yeah.
I joined a few groups, and the stuff I see is just, I'm like, jeez, guys, come on.
I wonder if there's
I
anyone
know,
in the.
I know, like you guys aren't great with technology, but come on, what are we doing here? Like, think, think about this for critically think for 5 minutes, and your opinion is stupid.
I wonder if anyone in those Facebook groups are like, oh, Shane Bowen deserves to keep his job.
I didn't see any of that, but I
Okay.
just seen like David Stearns is a moron who thinks he's smarter than everybody else and is going to run this team like Milwaukee. It's like, okay, he gave out the largest contract in MLB history.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Plus, he made a pretty good trade,
That
from what I
that was
saw.
Steve. That was Steve Cohen. Yeah, that was no. You. That's also a big thing Met fans do. Is I know I'll get off a tangent here. Is if a good move is made, it's Steve Cohen. If a bad move's made, it's David Stern's fault. It's like,
Gangsters.
no,
Come
guys, no.
on.
Like, yes, is Steve Cohen involved? Sure, he's involved. But he's giving out. We're giving close to $1 billion. Yeah, the owners could have some input.
Yeah, of course. But at the end of the day, the GM's the GM. That's the one making the
Exactly. It's
decisions
like,
and
come on.
whatnot. So
David Stern's not just going to. What Steve Cohen's not like, David Stearns, you need to do this now. He's gonna trust David Stearns to run the team, and that's
yeah,
what he's gonna do.
show my people, man. I tell you.
It's crazy.
But
Sorry, back to the
alrighty.
Giants.
No, you're.
I've been sitting on that for a while.
I
Just
love it, man.
losing
I love
brain
it.
cells.
I love it, my friend. It's all good. But let's see. Back to the Giants. But yeah, Mike Kafka doing a pretty good job so far. Making the moves made, whether it's with the coaching staff or calling plays and whatnot. And he's been a pretty good play caller ever since taking over as head coach. And the same could be said, honestly, even when he was the OC. So honestly, even though it's not showing in the win column. Hopefully, it does.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have the Patriots next, but afterwards we have a pretty easy-ish
The schedule
schedule
finally
the rest of the way.
lightens up. We get to play 9 and Geno. Easy wins.
We'll talk about 9 actually during our overreaction
9.
segment.
I'm 9. Okay. Shout out my friend. He goes, "How do you have 2 egos and both of them suck at football?"
I know.
I almost peed my pants. I was laughing so hard.
Dude, that video that ruined his career. And the way he was like, yeah, man.
It's very similar to like Zach Wilson after the remember Patriots Jets? It was like 10-9. The Patriots won that walk-off punt return.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And they asked Zach Wilson, "Do you take blame for wasting defense's performances?" And he said no. That ruined
my God.
Zach Wilson's career with the Jets. That's when I think everyone turned on him. The 9 thing for JJ McCarthy is a very similar, where it doesn't come off as like egotistical, arrogant like Zach Wilson did. This just comes off as stupid.
Like it was, and it was supposed to be a good video. Like it was supposed to be a video where it's like McCarthy's back, he's good again, blah blah blah. The team supports him. In reality, that was his freaking downfall, and it was just so cringy because he was just like trying to act like a
now
tough
it's
guy.
like a running joke. Like me and my friends have a group chat and we don't call him JJ. It's just 9 now. Like when we talk about McCarthy, we refer to him as 9 because it's dumb.
Is he good? 9.
9.
9. But it could be. He's so. Yeah, I have one of my bosses / leads. He's a Vikings fan, and we talked about McCarthy.
I'm so
the other
sorry.
day. I know, I am too, man. He was like, "Yeah, I'm done with JJ." Like he had so much. He was trying to hold on to so much hope for McCarthy. At the end of the day, he was just like, "I can't do it." I'm like, man, I can't blame you. But hey, sometimes things are a blessing in disguise because McCarthy is now in concussion protocol, and if he does not play, 7th round pick Max Brosmer will be set to start on Sunday for Minnesota. So maybe Brosmer could be the next Brock Purdy. Who knows?
Sure.
Hometown kid. Played
Golden Gopher.
Played with the Gophers. So, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. But look, hey, for the Giants, another fun game, right, to watch that. Unfortunately, ended in a loss. But there's plenty of good, big plays by this offense that we want to highlight. Wendell Robinson, hey, buddy, I know I said before that, hey, there's plenty of people like you. And we honestly don't need to resign you. I take everything back if that's okay with you, Wendell, because the Giants, they better resign you as soon as they can, and
He's
they
got
need
the
to give
same
you
numbers as Jay Jettison this year.
Do you know how insane that is?
Mm-hmm.
That is
insane.
And
that's granted probably more on like the Vikings struggles, but still, that's impressive when you're in the same conversation as that.
Yeah, and and the stats say that he is the best slot receiver in the NFL, from whether it's receptions to receiving yards, touchdowns, all those things. Like he's been phenomenal. And I give him a bunch of credit because for him to have to replace Malik Neighbors' production is not easy. But look, 102 targets on the year, 66 catches, 785 yards. That's in the top 10. Um, in terms of receiving, in terms of that category. Like, so yeah, he's top 10 in receptions and yards. Touchdowns obviously aren't there as much. He only has three. But again, the Giants' offense is, you know, kind of still. But I digress. Yeah, he's been phenomenal. He had 9 catches, 156 yards, 1 touchdown, and 106 of those yards came in the first quarter. I did not stutter. That is the first quarter in which he had 106 of those yards. That's
Yeah.
insane.
I
You're
mean,
supposed to
I think the 62-yard bomb that Jameis threw to him definitely helped that number,
definitely helps. Oh,
but
for sure.
still.
That's still insane. And the play that Brian's referring to is the flea flicker, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, I went nuts when he did that because
That
I didn't
was
think it was gonna
a
work.
again creative play calling. One of two examples that were
Jameis caught a freaking we're 30 minutes in this podcast. Jameis Winston caught a touchdown
a
pass
freaking
on Sunday.
touchdown,
Like,
man. Yeah,
come on, guys.
let's
This is what I
yeah.
was talking about. Jameis Winston might not be a good quarterback, but man, he's entertaining. And the choreographed dance right to the camera, oh, chef's
I
kiss.
love that. Like, let's forget about the fact that he threw for 366 and 2 touchdowns, right? Like, he caught a freaking tutty. Hey, good throw by Gunnar. Oh, honestly,
That's a top 10 play this season. I don't care it came in a losing effort.
dude, I didn't know what the F was going on, honestly, at first, because like so Gunnar had the ball, right? He was scrambling, and I was like, oh, he's gonna throw it to like a wideout, right? Then he low-key cross bodies it to the left side. And I'm like, who is over there? And it's freaking
Jameis.
Jameis. And like, I'm like, oh my god, what's gonna freaking happen?
And
He
then he
caught the
jukes
ball.
down a defender, breaks a tackle. Like,
I
what
know.
is this
The
guy
fact that
doing?
dude, his adjustment to the ball was actually super impressive. That's a freaking quarterback. And like you mentioned, he stiff arms Kirby Joseph. I'm like, yeah, honestly, if I'm Kirby, and with all due respect to Joseph, because he's obviously a really good safety. Um, yeah, I would have just sat myself out the rest of the game because
Yeah.
it's like,
I'm done.
dude, stiff arm by a
I just got
quarterback,
cooked by Jameis Winston on the receiving route. I'm
dude.
done.
Yeah, no, like just wait till next week to step on the field again. But
Yeah, I'm
no,
done. I'm gonna go take a shower and get a sandwich.
it wasn't.
let me know what happens.
It was incredible by like Jameis has been entertaining, but and in this game against Detroit's defense, he was super productive, whether it's through the air or of course in the receiving game as well. And then you mentioned the choreographed touchdown dance. That was really funny to watch. I loved it.
Can we get Jameis Winston under contract for next season? Can we use Jameis as like Taysom Hill next year? Can we do that?
Dude,
You know how much
hey,
fun that's gonna be?
he's willing to do it. He's already said like, hey, if he needs to play tight end, he would. And
If
I'm so
Jameis
grateful.
Winston becomes the next Taysom Hill, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna be so happy.
I know obviously later
Start to Winston touchdown.
touchdown. I know later this week is Thanksgiving, but one of the things I'm thankful for is Jameis Winston, honestly, be on
Oh,
this
of
team
course. How
because
can you not be?
yeah, because like all these other 31 teams, they could use a Jameis Winston. Now, of course, I'm not taking credit for this, but there was a tweet that was released saying that there should be a rule where if your starting quarterback gets hurt, Jameis Winston gets to go to that team for 1 week and
Yes.
play for you. Because he's just super entertaining when he's
Is
out
he
there.
the
And
most beloved NFL player right
has to
now?
one of the for sure. I can't think of another. I'm sure there's others who are
Because
beloved out there.
like somebody like I think Josh Allen. I think everyone likes Josh Allen. Like we
Yes.
both like Allen. I would say if you're not a fan of like the Jets, Patriots, or Dolphins, you probably got a positive opinion of Josh Allen. But
Yeah.
he's not beloved. Like
No.
Jameis Winston is beloved by everybody because of how funny he is. The person, like, I bet you there's Eagles fans and Cowboys fans out there who saw Jameis Winston catch that touchdown pass and burst out laughing.
Yeah, of course. Like you can't hate on Jameis. You really
No,
can't.
it's just
No, you
impossible
can't.
to hate.
No,
Like
he
even
is
like
a
his all like I know he had like the incident with like the Uber driver and all that. That's terrible.
yes.
But like even like his story of like him in college like stealing crab legs because he thought they were free. Like that's just like it's the most Jameis thing. I'm like, of course Jameis thought they were free.
My favorite college story will always be the fact that he tried to suit up and
The suit up for him being suspended. It's like, James, you can't be out. Oh, it's
oh,
like
like really?
Jimbo Fisher was gonna forget you were suspended, bro.
Literally game plan without you, and you think he's gonna forget? Like no.
It's like, wait a minute,
Um,
James is out there. What?
I was like, what? He's a character, man. I love him, and honestly, I'm glad he's under contract for next year, like you mentioned as well. Hopefully, we can resign him for the long term. I'm sure, obviously, other teams will try to poach him from us once his
Yeah.
contract's up. But I think if New York's smart, they will bring him back for the foreseeable future because he's not a starter by any means, but he
No,
is an
he's just a guy that
exceptional
can
backup.
pop in there,
Give
just
you
roll.
200-300 yards. Yeah, he was slinging it on Sunday, and I'm just the offense was on all cylinders, or was firing on all cylinders, I should say. Um, whether it was Tyrone Tracy who had another solid all around game, whether it's on the ground or in the receive, he had 68 yards receiving on 3 catches.
Hmm.
To go along with his 62 rushing yards. Like that's impressive. Isaiah Hodgins scoring his first touchdown since 2023. Theo Johnson, dude, he's improving every week. Like he's becoming a very nice, he was obviously Jackson Dart's favorite target. He had 77 yards on Sunday with James Winston under center on 3 catches. Like, and he had a nice 39-yard catch. Like he's a deep threat. He's not dropping balls as much like we're used to seeing from him now. So there are building blocks here that the Giants can
Yeah.
be happy about, whether it's Wandale, um, Hodgins, Johnson, all those guys. Once Malik's back next year, which I do have some
I
thoughts
think
about
I think that
Malik.
tweet, and I really do believe this, that tweet was at the coaching staff, not at the organization.
Yeah. But at the same time, like he needs to understand, like,
No, he does.
I hope
He's
so.
he
Like
needs
I
to
hope
realize
you
he
understand.
can't do that. But at the same time, we knew that was going to replace the passion, and he has to learn like just because you're critical doesn't mean you can put that online. Leave that stuff for the locker room.
Yeah. I'm coming from the standpoint like I don't blame him for doing so. There's nothing wrong with air. Oh, there obviously is something wrong with airing your frustrations online, and that is what that's Malik Neighbors. Like he is a top 5 receiver when healthy. Be straight up. I'm
Hmm.
not trying to be biased. Like you could
No,
literally say
I
that.
think you're hard to find someone with as much talent. It was going to be like
Yeah.
everyone thought he was a first round pick this year
Yeah.
in fantasy. That's
Yeah.
a high honor.
Of course. Um, but I think for him to be like, oh, for them to I agree with his frustration about the play calls that led to the 4th and goal. I get it. But for him to be like, oh, they should have kicked the field goal. Buddy, you play for the team. We're two
Yeah.
guys who watch and follow the team. You play, you know how this works, right?
Hmm.
About the Giants defense, but I digress. Um, of course, the tweet's now deleted.
Yeah.
And look, I love Malik. I hope he stays with us for years to come because he's the best receiver we've had since Odell Beckham Jr. So if and you're like 99% right that the tweet was directed to the coaching staff. I hope that with the staff we get next year, he'll be a lot more happier. And of
Yeah.
course, wins fix everything. So the
Wins
Giants
fix
start winning.
everything. Yep. Wins will
Yeah,
fix everything.
yeah. And plus, Dart will get him the football. Like he knows that's the best.
100%.
Yeah. So just hang on, Malik. Just hang on, buddy. We'll be okay. Um, Unfortunately, though, even though we did have a lot of great plays from our offense, we also did allow a lot of big plays to Detroit's offense as well. Jameer Gibbs, man, that is
Yeah.
a top
On.
5 back.
Hmm.
Holy crap. 15 carries, 219 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns, and then also had 11 catches for 45 yards and a touchdown in the receiving game, too. Look, I know Jonathan Taylor's getting all the praise. Bijan Robinson is right after him, but Jameer Gibbs has to be right freaking there with
Easily.
those two guys, dude. He was phenomenal on Sunday, and the Giants defense could not handle
Yeah, no
guard
answers to him. No
him.
answers to him. And we all knew this. We all knew going in that like a running back as good as Jameer Gibbs against a run defense as bad as the Giants was gonna lead to disaster. And we clearly saw it. He was overtime. He ran 60 yards and wasn't touched. All right? Up the middle. How do you not touch him when he's running up the gut?
Speaks volumes about the Giants defense. I tell you, man. And we'll actually discuss that more into too because dude, it was just That was really the Detroit's only play in overtime. And when I saw that, I was like, "Yep, that is no matter what." So, well, I don't know how the Giants are going to get down the field, but no matter what they do, it may not even matter because Jameer Gibbs just ended it on
Yep.
that one play. Um,
Yeah,
but
all
yeah,
the air was out of the balloon. Like I at that moment, like we lost this game. We lost.
yeah, 100%. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 9 catches, 141 yards, and a touchdown as well. Bounced back after what's been a kind of a struggle these past couple weeks for him as well. Goff had 279 yards, 2 touchdowns, had the interception. What that was made by Javon Holland.
Mm-hmm.
That was big for us at the time and led to that flea flicker and touchdown. But look, this is all to say, my friend. Maybe the amount of big plays allowed or just blown leads in general will decrease or become non-existent because Shane Bowen is now gone. Um,
See ya.
See you later. Finally, our wishes come true. Happy Thanksgiving to all of us, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
The terrorist is now gone. Mike Kafka made the announcement on Monday. Long overdue.
Long overdue. This
Honestly,
should have happened months ago.
yeah. Honestly, if I was thinking about it, I think he should have been fired after the Dallas game.
Oh, easily. That should have been his 100. I know people say like after last season, but like you have to give. You have to give a coordinator at least a year, at least.
Yeah,
But then after Dallas, we all should have saw the writing on the wall. I think we called for his head after that game too.
yeah. When when you have the pieces on defense that you have and you still can't cook anything up, like you gotta
Mm-hmm.
go. And Charlie Bolin will take over. He's the outside linebacker coach, and we'll talk about him towards the end of this particular segment with Bowen. But for those who don't know, Shane Bowen came to the New York Football Giants in 2024 after the Giants moved on from Wake Martindale.
Well,
Uh,
moved on is a choice with words.
yeah, let's say
Like Martindale left.
on his own terms, because of course Brian Dable and the Giants fired his two um, assistants that came with him from Baltimore, which made no damn sense, but whatever. But yeah, Bowen came from Tennessee. He was known for his conservative four-man rush philosophy, which was you know was the opposite of Martindale's aggressive
Yes.
approach. That led to a lot of success, of course, in 22 and some success in 23, despite the record. Bowen's specialties were what? Run defense and red zone defense. New York has ranked below in both of those categories this year, and it's crazy because like ever since Bowen was hired, they invested money into quite a few guys. Whether it's training for Burns, drafting Abdul Carter, signing Javon Holland and Paulson Adebo this offseason, right? Drafting Darius Alexander, who had a great performance on Sunday, my friend. 2 sacks against Detroit. That's solid. You have Tibbs, you have Dexter Lawrence, you have Okereke, you have Cordell Flott. Yet what? You are that bad as a coordinator that you're just so conservative. You're so stuck on sticking to your philosophy that you don't want to make adjustments. And that's why the Giants are 30th in points allowed and last in yards allowed against the run or per rushing attempt, I should say.
Pretty much.
You can't be. Yeah, I honestly don't know how he
His
got a
scheme
job.
did not fit the talent that was on the roster. It didn't.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of
Yeah.
man coverage, a lot of being conservative, but this defense was built to be aggressive and hit the quarterback.
Mm-hmm. It sucks, man, because it's like he was such a panic hire because there was
Yeah.
really no one else at the time. I don't think that
Mm-hmm.
would be a good choice to be the DC
Yeah.
or want to come to New York
Yeah.
to be a DC.
He's a
I'm
panic
glad he's
hire, and like you understood because like the Giants were bad in the red zone, the Tennessee had a good red zone defense, and he had solid run defense numbers. I don't think they were like amazing, but I think they were like 15, 17, like somewhere in that range. So like that was an improvement for us. So like you understood why they hired him, but then like you saw it on the field, it's like, oh wait, hang on, the numbers aren't matching what his scheme did.
damn right. Blown leads, just failure to have the correct play calls out there, all those things. It just wasn't a right fit from the start, man.
Nope.
And I'm glad that he's gone now. Obviously, as a person, wishing nothing but the best to him and his family, but at the same time, just glad he's not on
I
my
don't like
team as a
where is he
coach.
gonna catch on though? Because you saw
Nowhere.
how bad his defense was. Like
High
who's gonna
school. I don't freaking
who
know.
gives him a shot? I don't. I had a very similar thought when McAdoo was fired. And was like, who's gonna give him an opportunity? And someone rightfully did, and I think he did a pretty good job in Carolina. I wonder where he is now. Now I'm thinking about it, but
Been man.
regardless, he was the OC for a little bit there in Carolina, and they did decently. So maybe that's a similar track for Bowen. He can catch on somewhere and kind of rebuild his way back up.
Funny enough, he is the senior defensive assistant for the Patriots, my friend. So he's having,
McAdoo is a defensive assistant now.
yes, sir. Kind of weird, huh? Because he is known for being more of an
He was an
offensive guy.
offensive guru.
That's right. So
What's that?
maybe
What's with the Patriots at hiring guys for the opposite side of the ball?
it's working. I'm saying that
It
it's
didn't
working.
work with Mac Jones.
Oh yeah, but it's working out apparently. Hell of a staff and hell of a year by the Patriots. By the way, this year as well. Of course, you could talk about their
No,
weeks.
I guess like since he's so good offensively, maybe he can
He can
all right,
help
this is
like
what the
defense.
offense is gonna do, so do this to counter it.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why he's there.
it makes sense.
Yeah, now that I kind of
Um,
think about it, but yeah, just kind of funny.
but yeah, so many things to point to in regards to what Bowen has done wrong. Whether it's like we said, points allowed, rushing defense, all those things. Blown leads, conservative calls. And look, I'm glad he's gone. I am. But like we mentioned earlier at the beginning of the show, 90% of the Giants' inability to stop anyone is on him. 10% does go to the players. And
Yeah.
I don't think they're receiving enough blame for that. Because the second and third level guys are just,
Oh, the secondary needs a lot of help this offseason.
yeah. And you could argue like the linebackers too. And I will not take credit for this as well, but there was someone who tweeted out that Leo Chenal was a guy that Giants should go get in free agency because he's a great off-ball linebacker. And I think that he's quick, he's speedy, and look, I love Okereke. I do.
Yeah.
McFadden, when he's healthy, he's pretty good as well. But even with those two on the field, I still don't feel confident that
Yeah,
we
they
have a
need
good
a
linebacker
solid
core.
third linebacker
I
somewhere.
think I think it's time to move on from Okereke. He's a tackling machine. I
Yeah.
love that. I do. He's just not fast. And I think that's the
Age
reason
caught up
behind
to him a
being
little bit.
burnt
He lost
a
his step.
little bit. I love what he did for us in 22. Yeah, 22.
Yep, 22 is a big
and
year.
23. He's still good at tackling. Everything else has decreased. McFadden, obviously, when healthy, he's okay, but
Yeah.
like without Okereke, we've seen hasn't been that great. I know that story is old, but it's true. The depth behind those two are not
Yeah.
that great. Whether
Like
it's Darius,
Milwaukee's a nice player, but he's not a starting caliber linebacker. He's a special teams guy and like a coverage specialist, a run
yeah,
defense specialist. Sorry.
same thing with Flanagan Fowles. Same thing
Yep.
with Neville Hewitt. Those are guys that can serve as depth pieces, but they're going to give you below average linebacker play, and are only good for special teams. And yeah, these guys. So yeah, and for the linebacker wise, those guys aren't it, and I hope we address that
Yeah.
position
Well,
in the
I also
offseason.
think we can address that internally because I really believe that whoever the Giants bring in next has to switch the defense from a 3-4 to a 4-3 because we saw on Sunday Darius Alexander had his breakout performance. What did he had 2 sacks, right?
Correct. Yes.
2 sacks. So like next season, if you go into it, you can move Thibodeau to outside linebacker role, kind of be like a blitz, like an edge linebacker hybrid type thing. You bring in another solid linebacker. You have McFadden out there. Maybe Okereke is still your mid linebacker. I don't know. But now you have a linebacking core of Thibodeau, McFadden, Okereke, and then somebody else, whether it be a free agent or draft pick. That kind of looks better on paper to begin with. And then you have Burns, Dex, Alexander, and Carter. That's
There you go.
That's a really good front seven.
Yeah, 4-3 defense. I've always loved the 4-3 defense.
Fits
Honestly,
this defense so much better.
Yeah,
than the 3-4.
It would make so much sense, honestly. Look, 3-4 defense has its benefits, but at the same time,
they both do. It's all in personnel. You look at the personnel the Giants have right now. It's the 4-3. It's the way to go.
Yeah, right. Because we have one All-Pro defensive tackle, and we have one guy that's on the come up with Alexander. So yeah, why not run?
And you have to figure out a way to get Burns, Thibs, Carter, and Dex all in the field at the same time.
Yes,
only
as
way to
much
do
as
that
possible.
is 4-3.
As much as possible. That is correct, my friend. So, yeah, linebackers. So hopefully that's a position that we address in the offseason. Hopefully, like you mentioned, a scheme change is something that we get to experience as well. whether it's with the new head coach, the DC, or the new whoever the new DC is. Um, and then, but the secondary, like you mentioned, is also a position that needs to be addressed as well. Because look, I love that we went to go get a Debo this offseason. I do,
Yeah.
but at the same time, there's always that risk of like, hey, this guy has an injury history. He's coming off a major injury himself, um, and so far this year, he's been injured. Simple as that.
Yeah. That's how I would
Um,
describe it.
and,
Injured.
and what? Yeah, and when he's on the field too, like he's been okay. He's been okay. So, yeah, it's not nothing too crazy. He hasn't been good, hasn't been bad. It's just okay. Cordell Flot's has had a pretty solid season. Of course, has his struggles at times, but he's a CB2, not a CB1. He's a
Mm-hmm.
CB2. Andrew Phillips can't cover for the life of him. He's a great tackler, great run defender, not good at anything else. Yeah, dude, the cornerback position needs major help too, and I think we need to address hopefully a top pick into a cornerback in this
Yeah.
year's draft.
I think we
It will,
will.
yeah, and you know, obviously the losing keeps going. We'll be able to trade down and get some extra first round picks and whatnot. And if we're able to get if we're able to get a second first round pick for this upcoming draft, I do think the Giants will address that cornerback position because I think it's much needed. Um, but that's all to say this, my friend. Could all these bad performances, whether it's by in the linebackers and the corners, be fixed with a new DC now with Bullen taking over for the rest of the year? Maybe it
Yeah.
could,
Maybe.
and could it be fixed with the new, if the guys that we have on the roster now are still the same guys that we have next year, and we have a new DC, and maybe they turn it around? That could happen, sure.
Yeah. They fit the scheme better. Sure. Maybe the DC finds their strengths and is able to use them well. That could definitely
Yeah,
happen.
maybe, yeah. But it's just there's so many what ifs, right? And there's just at this point in time, there's no denying that the guys that we have on this defense, outside of the pass rush and the defensive line as a whole, they're just not talented enough to
No.
perform against the best of the best in the
And
NFL.
there's no depth for
There really isn't.
whatever talent they do have. There's no one behind them if one of them goes down.
There really isn't, dude, and it sucks. It really does. Um, but yeah, hey, Bowen's gone.
Thank God.
Do you have any other thoughts about him, my friend? I know I've talked
No,
a lot
I
about
just thank
him.
God he's gone. He was terrible here. Thank God. That's all.
Yeah,
That's all you can really say is he should have been fired weeks ago.
right.
I guess it's better late than never. But like, come on, what
Yeah,
are we doing here? Yeah,
Joe
you get
Shane
a
though.
10-point lead, you blow. That's simple.
Joe Shane running out of scapegoats, buddy. Time's a ticking. Time's
And
a
if
ticking,
it's
Joe.
if it's true that he wants to bring in Lou Amarello as the next head coach, he needs
Yeah,
to go right now. Fire him.
yeah.
He can't.
And for those
It's
who,
Chris. It's Chris. It's the draft day. It's the sticky note. It's Chris Shula or Clint Kubiak, no matter who, no matter what.
no matter what, no matter what, or John Gruden. I'm kidding.
If Gruden
Um,
wants to come, I will be. I'd be open to Gruden with the right coordinators. That's the key for me.
yes, yes, I agree. Um, you know, for those who don't know why we don't like Lou Arumo,
Look at the Chiefs game against the Colts. They blew a 20. They were up 20-9. They should have won that game and blew it.
it's not
Why am I
even
bringing that
that.
in?
Oh yeah, that's part of it, and he's done a pretty good job with the Colts defense outside the Chiefs game. It's just the fact that it's like, oh, he has this connection with the Giants and Mara and Shane, and it's just like, I don't care. Like,
The
why?
nepotism
Like,
hire.
why do we gotta hire people who are close to family? I get it. I get the whole Vin Diesel like family, family.
But there's a reason why that's a movie and not
That's a
actually
movie.
how
This
things
isn't real
work.
life, bro. Like, come on. Like, be smart.
There's an expression: don't mix business with family. And like, look at the Giants. The Giants have pretty much mixed business with family. A lot of Mars in a high ranked position, and the team sucks.
Yeah. It's so stupid. I really hope we don't like he can be in consideration for the job. That is perfectly
Oh
fine.
yeah, no, bring
If
him in for an interview and see how he does.
yeah, maybe he changes her mind. Probably not. But he cannot be like the favorite just because he knows family
Yeah,
within yeah, no thank you. But I am excited though for Mr. Charlie Bullen. who will be the interim DC for the rest of the year. He came from he is from the University of Illinois. He worked under Brett Bielema, who's a former Giants assistant. Has 12 years of NFL experience as a whole. Mentors include Vance Joseph, who is the Broncos DC, and Texans DC Matt Burke. Both of those guys in head coaching considerations heading into the offseason here.
Mm-hmm.
And Bolin and Joe Shane were both members of the Dolphins organization from 2012 to 2017, so there's some familiarity there. And of course, I'm sure that had some part to do with Bolin being signed as the linebackers coach in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do. Bolin has worked
Yeah.
with Carter and Tibbs and Burns obviously the entire year, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes or how this works out with him as the new DC for the rest of the year. Yeah, I have nothing wrong with it for me,
Nope.
honestly. I mean, any face would have been better than Bowen.
Yeah, pretty
Whether
much. Like I have no expectations because like I firing a coordinator mid-season, like you can't really change that much. But
yeah,
like it's one of those things where like we fire Bowen because we had to be accountable. All right.
yes,
Had to be some accountability. And I think Kafka is finally bringing that back. We're seeing accountability, which is another, notch on his belt. Like, look, accountability. I benched Carter for sleeping during a meeting or whatever Carter did. I fired Shane Bowen after he blew another lead. I gave him an opportunity to prove himself to me, and he didn't do it, and I fired him for it. That's all great stuff. Now we got to see what this guy can do.
right. Yeah, we'll see. Otherwise, my friend, any final thoughts on the Giants Lions game? Or
No,
on
just
Bull?
just like you knew, it's a movie we see 1,000 times. You knew what was. You
Yeah,
knew it was. We were up
yes,
17-7 in the second quarter. I'm like, we're gonna find a way to blow this game and lose,
yeah,
aren't we?
yeah, and we did. So on to New England, my friend. And we
Oh,
have them on
good
Monday night.
lord.
Maybe it'll be closer than you think. I mean, these primetime games are weird, man.
Sure.
Dun dun dun
I
dun
mean,
dun dun
I did
dun.
hear the
Dun.
report that Jackson Dart is trending towards playing, but
That's right.
I don't know.
It
We heard the
it
same thing last week.
yeah, it may not even matter, honestly. So alrighty, my friend. Well, you know the drill. So the name for this segment. So the past couple of weeks, me and Brian have done a overreaction segment to the other NFL Week 12 games that stand out. The name is so I've come up with the name. It's called Hey Chill Man. Get it? Because
Hmm.
get it? Yeah.
Yeah, I
See.
got it.
Yeah. Hey, you get me? Okay. So that's the segment that's the name of the segment that we'll be having every Tuesday moving forward, or every first show of the week moving forward, where I ask or I mention a game or two, and I ask Brian a overreaction or say something about the game, and Brian tells me if it's an overreaction or not. So we have 5 games to discuss before we leave for the day here, or for this episode here, and we'll start in Pittsburgh. Bears 31, Steelers 28. My friend Mason Rudolph threw 2 touchdowns for the Steelers because Aaron
We didn't
Rodgers did
get
not
Kirk
play.
Rogers. I was a little upset.
We did not. We did not see a chance for Rodgers to once again own the Bears like he's done or back in his time in Green Bay. But
Hmm.
Caleb Williams was very efficient on Sunday, led Chicago to another win, and the Bears have now won 8 of their last 9 games. Honestly, my friend, I know we just played Detroit on Sunday, but I think the Bears are going to win the NFC North this year.
I actually think they can too. I like this Bears team. I think Ben Johnson has done a great job, and there are major question marks with the Packers and Lions right now. Like, sure, the Lions beat us, but it was by the skin of their teeth. They're not as good as they once were. Their offensive line is not great, and the Packers have been pretty inconsistent this year. They look good some games, and some games look kind of bad. I think the Bears have a real opportunity here. They're kind of playing with house money, being like the up and coming team. And, that kind of lack of pressure can kind of will a team to overperform and be somewhere they're not supposed to be.
Oh yeah, and they have a great core of guys. Whether it's Caleb,
Hmm.
Munang guy has stepped up. He had 48 yards. He led the team in rushing
It's a
on
young
Sunday
team.
for.
It's a young. So even if they don't win this year, the future is very bright in
It's so
Chicago.
bright, and they had the right guy at the helm.
Yes.
With Ben Johnson, my friend, and they whether it's Romo Dudze, Colston Loveland has stepped up in a big way too. Ever since the game that where
Yeah, he got a
the
touchdown
Bengals
pass
game.
on Sunday. Oh, yeah, at least
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Ever since that Bengals game where he came out of nowhere due to the Noah Fant injury, like he's been
Yeah.
impressive. and
Mm-hmm.
DJ Moore is obviously a veteran presence there too. Like, or sorry, I said Cole. I didn't say I didn't. I said Noah Fant. I meant to say Cole Komet.
Yeah, I was still looking at this. I'm
Well,
like, no offense, Bangle.
yeah, there you go. So, but yeah, no, I Chicago has a bright future ahead, like you mentioned, my friend, and I think that that they have a chance to win the division because of just how everything's playing out in the North. So, well, we'll stay on the North topic here. Packers 23, Vikings 6, my friend. Green Bay's defense helped Minnesota to just 145 total yards, sacking JJ McCarthy 5 times and intercepted him twice.
Excuse
Um,
me, you mean 9?
yes, 9. That's all I think about when you say 9. It's just 9. But honestly, Minnesota will be drafting a quarterback in the early rounds once again in 2026.
They kind of have to be, or at the very
Have
least, you
to.
had to bring in a veteran quarterback because JJ McCarthy is not the answer. I know, I understand the logic, but it's yet another example of teams valuing the idea of a good quarterback rather than actually watching what's on tape. Like JJ McCarthy was drafted in the first round because he won national championship with Michigan and he was 20 years old. So all the shortcomings he had, they thought you could coach out of him. They didn't look at the film or at the stats because if you watched it, you realize Michigan won because of their great defense and great running game. And McCarthy was just a system quarterback and not someone that could translate to NFL. It's the same thing with Anthony Richardson. He looked like a good quarterback. He had the physical traits of a good quarterback. But the one thing he didn't have? Good quarterback play. So I'm hoping guys like McCarthy and Richardson can teach teams what happens on the field matters. And it's not just what this guy does in his underwear and what he looks like.
Love that. Um, I don't think you can blame Kevin O'Connell for McCarthy's struggles. I
No, it's
think,
McCarthy's just not a good
yeah,
quarterback.
O'Connell is a quarterback whisperer. That dude, I mean, he is a guy who turned around Sam Darnold, helped Daniel Jones develop, of course, when Jones was there for a little bit.
Carson Wentz had
Kirk,
some flashes this
Carson
year.
Wentz,
Like,
yeah, Kirk Cousins in the
mm-hmm.
past. Like, you can't blame
Case
O'Connell.
Keenum.
Yeah, Case.
I would forget about Case Keenum.
Yeah, it's like if Kevin O'Connell can't fix you, I don't think you can't be saved because
Yeah, no,
O'Connell's a quarterback whisperer. I and I get it. McCarthy's only had 5 games under his belt, but
it
when
just
you're a
doesn't
first
look
round
like it
pick,
looks like a worse version of Michigan. It's these
there's not
regrets.
yeah, there's nothing that has been shown in the games that he's played so far where it's like we just got if we can get more, if we can
Yeah,
somehow develop that, we're gonna be okay.
yeah. Like
Nothing.
you see the flashes with Dart. You see the flashes with Cam Ward. It's like, okay, sure, there's some
Yes,
bad with Cam Ward, but I'm seeing the outline of a good quarterback. That
seeing
arm
the
is
yeah,
there. That stuff is there. If we could just get him the good coaching staff, Cam Ward to be a good quarterback. Dart has looked great so far. You get a right coach in there, he's only going to get better.
yes,
McCarthy, there hasn't been that moment or that skill or that play that has translated to the NFL.
yeah. So Minnesota, honestly, they're in shambles, man. And look, the quarterback class I know is a lot of people say it's weak right now. We'll see what they think once we get closer to like the combine and
Yeah.
the draft and whatnot. But it's safe to say Minnesota will be drafting a guy this year. Just depends on where they'll be drafting a quarterback
Mm-hmm.
at, or where they'll be drafting in the first place, I should say. But I digress. Seahawks 30, Titans 24. You mentioned Cam Ward, had a pretty good game himself, but the main story here is Jackson Smith and Jigba, who once again cooked a defense that had to deal with him. Had 167 yards and 2 touchdowns on Sunday, breaking DK Metcalf's single season team receiving record with 1,313 yards through just 11 games. Buddy, JSN is the best receiver in the NFL.
He is right now, and if Jonathan Taylor was not having a historic season and basically carrying the Colts to a playoff spot, he's probably the front runner for Offensive Player of the Year. I mean,
Oh yeah,
he's kind of come
for
out of
sure.
nowhere. Like you traded away DK Metcalf, and him and Darnold had just been on another level this year. I think like they do like the pyramids of where guys are and like
Oh
receiving.
yes.
He's always at the top and alone. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Oh yeah. Dude, and he's super young. He's 23 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Another Ohio State receiver, and we know about
Yep.
receivers from Ohio State. They always don't know how to produce. But he's second in receptions, first in yards, tied for fourth in touchdowns with 7. Another 100-yard gain. He's been insane. In the past 7 games, 6 of them have been for at least 105 yards. He's been super productive. And look, props to Sam Darnold for realizing, like, dude, just get this guy the ball and our offense is going to be okay.
Yep.
Um, Now, I will say, this is off topic, but Rashid Shaheed was honestly a waste of a trade because he's been complete doggy do.
Hmm.
For ever since coming to Seattle, like you should have just kept your whatever you traded away for him um, with you. But at the end of the day, yeah, Smith and Jigba has been outstanding, and he will. I forget. There's NFC offensive player or offensive player of the year. There is, right, or is it just
I
one
think just
total?
offensive player of the year.
Okay. Well, he will be a top candidate for offensive player of the
Yeah,
year
he'll
for
be
sure.
second. He'll finish second. I
Behind
really,
Jonathan,
I don't think anyone's catching Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, unfortunately not. But 1 second. Shadur Sanders, Browns 24, Raiders 10. Shadur Sanders became the first Browns rookie since 1999 to win his first NFL start. And look, credit to Cleveland's ferocious defense because they
Yeah, yeah, that
limited
game
that
was more on
Raiders offense.
Cleveland's defense.
Yeah, but hey, Shadur didn't play that bad. I will say, and it was a perfect time, no pun intended, for him to show up. I'm gonna lie, man, and I know this may be a little too far, but this is what the segment's for. The Browns have finally found their franchise quarterback.
That's a way overreaction. I mean, look, did Jador Sanders play well on Sunday? He 100% did. He definitely deserved. He definitely deserved to be the starter for the rest of this season. I will
Yes,
100% agree with that. But the numbers are a bit misleading. All right, that
I
66
know,
yard pass was a screen pass. That was all
I
Junkins
know.
getting a lot of those yards. So I'm not saying he's a franchise quarterback yet, but he definitely showed flashes of one.
Yeah, shout out to Samson. He's the backup behind Judkins for that
No, that was him.
the one.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
like
yeah.
he had a good throws. I'm not gonna not discredit him, but like the yardage, a lot of it was on that screen pass.
Yeah. He did make some. I think for me, the optimism was behind like the throws that he made. Like those are
Yes.
like whether it's the one to Isaiah Bond earlier in the game to the Judy throw.
Yeah. No, he
Like
definitely he showed
yeah,
flashes.
he's shown flashes, and I think if that continues, because obviously he just played a very weak Raiders team.
Hmm.
The rest of the schedule, hey, they got the Niners, they have the Titans, and then you have the Bears. If we see, and then he has the Bills after that too. If we continue to see flashes from him in these
If they
games,
continue to put up performances like this, then you can go to the next one like, oh, maybe we have something here.
and it leads to wins too,
Hmm.
there's going to be a whole different conversation when it
Yes.
comes to Shadur Sanders. I think uh, some people will be upset that Shadur is having this success, but like he said, man, he doesn't. People are going to hate on him, but he's going to make sure that the hate doesn't get to him.
Yeah.
Um, and I love that. And I always will support Shadur Sanders. I do. I know I'm glad he's not on my team because we have a pretty good franchise quarterback ourselves that has shown even more flashes, and it will be the franchise guy for years to come. But I wish Shadur nothing but the best in Cleveland. I think they need someone like him with his moxie, his energy, and whatnot.
Hmm.
And I really hope he does prove himself against these teams coming up on a schedule for Cleveland. Of course, they're probably not going anywhere with the record being at
Oh,
three and
God, no,
eight.
there, no.
Yeah, barring some major collapse in the North because the North is crap.
Hmm.
Ravens are 6-5, Steelers 6-5, Bengals 3-8. Those are the teams ahead of them, but we'll see. Sure, but yeah, pretty okay performance on Sunday, even if the numbers are kind of skewed because of that screen pass. But 11 of 20, 209, one touchdown, one pick. We'll take that for a first rookie start. So
Hmm.
plus Cleveland doesn't have playmakers anyways, so we got to give him credit for that.
Yeah.
And then finally, my friend, Rams 34, Bucks 7. Sunday Night Football. Oi. Stafford threw
Turn the
three
game off
first
at
half touch.
halftime.
Stafford threw three first half touchdowns, 2 to Devontae Adams. He's been a goal line machine, Devontae Adams. I tell you.
Hmm.
I'm sorry for you, Kyron Williams fantasy owners. It's gonna be okay, folks. It's gonna be okay. By the way, congrats to both of us. We are now eliminated from our podcast league,
Oh, cool.
my friend. Yeah, yeah. So the $100 are not going to any of us.
Mm.
But yeah, Stafford and the Rams had a 31-7 lead at the half, and they did not look back. But Stafford has now thrown 27 straight passing touchdowns without an interception. This is the longest streak since 1978. And I'll be honest, my friend, I never thought I'd say this. I never would have predicted it. Matthew Stafford's going to win the MVP this year.
He's definitely in the running now. I really think it's him. Drake. I think it's him and Drake May are the only two options they have. And shout out to Stafford. There was some questions about him coming into this year with his back and stuff. He has turned back the clock these last few weeks and has looked really, really good. So I definitely think he's going to be, if not first, second.
Yeah. Stafford has the best odds according to ESPN at this time at -185, followed by Drake May, Jonathan Taylor, Patrick Mahomes, and
It's
Josh
just
Allen.
Patrick Mahomes is the Chiefs quarterback. It's the most popular quarterback in football. He's always gonna have high. It's kind of like how no matter what the Yankees or Dodgers do, they'll always be at top of the MLB betting thing. It's a
They
public
barely
thing, not an actual indication of how well they're playing.
they barely survived the freaking
Yeah, no,
Colts.
it's public
Oh,
perception, but because a casual bettor will just throw money on Patrick Mahomes because it's Patrick Mahomes. Same thing with Tom Brady. Like, oh yeah, Tom Brady's gonna win the MVP this year. Boom.
boom. Yeah. So, but that's all I got for you, my friend. That's the hey chill man segment of the week. And with that being said, that will wrap it up here for episode 57. Actually, no, before we go, your Mets, great trade, right? We didn't really discuss too much about it. Did you
So
know
the
that?
trade, it's a weird trade. It's a trade that is going to look better once the rest of the offseason is done. So,
Okay.
for those that don't know, the Mets traded Brandon Nimmo, the longest tenured Met, had been a Met in the Mets system for 14 years, drafted in 2011. So, there was a lot about him being a Met for life and all this sort of stuff. Which, by the way, the Mets don't have. The Mets only two players have spent their whole careers with the Mets that are actually notable players. It's David Wright and Ed Kranepool. That's it. So the fact that a career Met is a very special thing. And the fact that Nimmo was kind of looking like he was, and then all of a sudden, kind of out of nowhere, he wasn't, a bit of surprise. But this trade makes the Mets better defensively, which is what David Stearns wants to do. Lindor and Simeon are going to be one of the great defensive duos up the middle we've seen in a long time. It also gets Mets, some flexibility payroll wise because we get a Simeon's contract in 3 years instead of Nimmo 5 years, and now we can, have some creativity where we go get a Cody Bellinger, a Steven Kwan, a Fernando Tatis Jr. Kyle Tucker is probably still on the table, so it's much easier to replace a left fielder than it is a second baseman. So I'm still indifferent about the trade right now because I need to see them replace Nimmo's offense. And you can't just replace with Pete Alonso. You have to get Pete Alonso and then somebody else. So
Gotcha.
it's a trade that it's going to age like wine, I think.
Okay. Understandable. Understandable. Um, yeah, no thoughts on it for myself. It was good. I obviously recognize Marcus Simeon, so it's good to see. I was like, oh, he's
Yeah.
going to the Mets.
And
Fantastic.
Simeon's no longer Simeon's a great defender, and we'll see what his back can do. It's been regressive the past couple of years. But if he had played at Citi Field the past 2 years, he would have 18 more home runs than he did. So
Mm.
it's one of those things. It's is a change of scenery all Simeon needs to kind of get back on track. At the same time, he's 35 years old. It's just a sign of regression. So
True. True. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see how the rest of the offseason goes. But a great start by the Mets, honestly.
it's an
The
interesting
MLB
start.
offseason is kind of
It definitely signals that we are seriously gonna upgrade defense this offseason.
yeah. Yeah, the MLB offseason has been kind of the MLB offseason as a whole has been kind of quiet, but it's good to
It's
see.
normally quiet. Well, we
Yeah,
had Sonny Gray got traded today to the Red Sox.
that's right. Sonny Gray for Richard Fitz and Brandon Clark, along with $20 million that the Red Sox will be receiving as well. Thoughts on that, my friend, as well?
Good for the Red Sox to go get a pitching, and the Cardinals continue the teardown. Cardinals are going to a
Yeah,
rebuild.
yeah. Well, other news from MLB wise, Red Sox showing interest in JT Realmuto. Tears. Nah, screw the Phillies. No, you guys. Yeah, I don't like Philly anymore at all. As
Pittsburgh's
a
interested
whole.
in Schwarber. I don't think they're going to sign him, but man, it'd be funny. Did you see Pittsburgh had an offer for Josh Naylor? Did you see what it was?
No.
It was 5 years. They got the 5 years part right. I think it was $72 million is what they offered him. 5 years for
And
$72 million.
how much did Mariners
Got
offer
92
Naylor?
million.
Oh my God, Pitt's cheap, cheap ass.
It was like
Fucking man.
72 or 78, somewhere between there. But it's just like nowhere close to the winning bid.
Cheap ass freaking Pittsburgh. And finally, according to John Morosi, the Diamondbacks are actively listening on Ketel Marte. Phillies, Blue Jays among teams that have checked in with said.
I would say that would be a perfect fit for the Mets had they not just traded for Simeon.
Literally is a meme of Drewski. I'm sure you know who Drewski is, like
Yeah.
shaking his glass cup.
Mm-hmm.
And the tweet said, "quote And the Mets just traded for
This
Simeon."
is
And
Simeon,
then
yeah.
yes, I love it. But that'll do it for this one. Season 3, episode 57 has now come to a close. This will be our only episode for the week, as like you mentioned earlier, Thanksgiving is in a few days, so we'll take the rest of the week off. You will expect clips from us from the rest during the rest of the week, though. From this episode, we covered a lot, whether it's Giants versus Lions, Shane Bowen being fired, our reactions, or Brian's reactions to Week 12, and whatnot. And yeah, it was a fun episode as always. You can follow the social media. You can follow me at Nathan underscore no 124. You can follow Brian at BrianPG1016 on Twitter as well. You can follow our podcast page at Third and 10 Pod on Instagram and Twitter, and our TikTok page is at Third and 10 Podcast. We'll see you guys next Monday as the Giants take on the Patriots on that same Monday as well, in prime time on ESPN. It's gonna be fun. I hope. Fingers crossed. Hopefully, Josh Dart is back. We'll of
Hopefully.
course have the full injury report, news, all those things on Monday, since that is the day of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for Brian, I'm Nate. We hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. We appreciate you as always. A shout out to our sponsors, SeatGeek. Use code Belly Up Sports for $20 off your first purchase, as well. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.